It is the phase are coming in the meditation. What does it mean? Sometimes there can be one, sometimes there can be many different by one. uh, so the very simple thing is, when many faces are coming to you, it means your past memories are trying to open up. If this face has some kind of symmetry, suppose you see the same kind of faces, like angry faces, everybody face is angry, or everybody's face is sad, or everybody face is happy, then it is not connected to your past life. Then it is connected to your present emotions, in which emotion you are going through, present mental conditions in which you are going through. So when you are going through in a not in a very good mental conditions, or you are going through a very sad phase of life, then most of the faces, different faces which are appearing to your life, they will be little sad. But when you are going through a very joyful time of life and some sad thing comes, it also can be your fear. But when these different faces are coming with different emotions, like somebody is happy, somebody is playing, somebody is celebrating, somebody is sad, then it can be possible to connect it. It can have some connection with your past life. So this you can do it, and you can understand that these faces are connected to your past life or to present life. If it is connected to your present life and similar kind of faces are coming, then it would be better to focus on that emotion and try to take out this emotion from you. Try to express this emotion. If so much sad faces you are seeing, it means there is a sadness inside you which you are not throwing out. If so much fearful faces are coming, it means you have inside fear which you are not throwing out. So you have to throw out the fear, you have to throw out the sadness, you have to throw out the emotion to release from these faces. They can be your own faces from different life. If you don't know them, if you have no recognition in this life with these faces, they can be your own faces from different lives, from similar emotions. There is a beautiful story between the Shiva and Shakti, or like between Rudra and Parvati. So when Parvati saw that Rudra was wearing like a mala of Narmundas. So Narmunda is like something like this, skeleton face. So when he was wearing skeleton face, and Parvati was just amazed, like why he is wearing so much of skeleton face. Normally in the pictures you have never seen the Shiva wearing all the Narmundas mala. More you have seen only Kali is wearing the Narmundas malas. But actually Shiva was wearing, Rudra was wearing in the Aghora form first time this Narmundas mala, and after that it became like many. Tara also sometimes wears, Kali also sometimes wears. So Narmundas, he was wearing the face, skeleton face mala of in his neck. And Parvati got curious and she just asked like, why are you wearing this, and whose faces are they? So Shiva said one very beautiful thing, that these all faces are your faces. You took so many lives to come to this life to Parvati. Before this you took like 108 lives. So every time when you died, I saved your face and put into my mala. So 108 times she died. So all the faces which Shiva was wearing in his mala was the faces of Parvati. And all this, when Parvati heard about it, she was like in a kind of shock. So she got motivated, like how I can go out from this, how I can not die again, how I can make myself mortal. Because this is the main desire of a human. He wants to become mortal. He wants to live forever. And because of only this desire, the spirituality came into existence. Before this desire, if this desire was not there, no spirituality was needed. That's why you go and you see in some places, like some religions particularly, they don't talk about immorality, they don't talk about becoming God, because they even say that you can never become God. Only this culture of this country gives you this permission that you can become God, that you can be God, you can be Shivoham. Like, who is Shiva? I am same, I can be the same. This liberty is only given here. Otherwise, in Afghanistan, long time ago, there was a sacred sage. He said that this finger belongs to the God, and they cut his finger. Then he said, this body belongs to God. This body is God. I am God. So Anal Haq. So then they cut him. They cut his head. So it was strange, but it is not understood anywhere else in the world, because this desire of becoming God has been suppressed by the God itself in the West. In the East, they say, okay, you have to worship God not for because to please Him. You have to worship God to become God. Because if you see somebody, if you are living with somebody and you're seeing somebody like he's like this, angry, frustrated, or like this, and you are 24/7 living with this, slowly with the time, what will happen? You will start to imbibe his qualities. You will start to imbibe his traits. Like suppose you meet a man who is almost kaput in his head, then you will start to imbibe his traits. If you meet some women who is like almost going with her own problems, and you will start to imbibe this trait. In spite of working on yourself, you will be in a condition, you will be mostly copying the another person living next to you. That's why some of the Puranas has said very beautiful things, that they say that live with the people with like whom you wants to become. Live with the people like whom you wants to become. If you wants to become stupid, live with the stupids. If you want to become intelligent, become intelligent. Like I was a very small, like not very small, but I was in school, and every time my teachers were saying, like you should go and like have friendship with those people who are intelligent, who are scoring more marks. Then you can score more marks. And I made an experiment. I went, I made friendship with those people who was like scoring more marks, who was getting more numbers. So when I made friendship with them, they was all the time talking about the studies, nothing else they was talking, no, not about the girls, not about the other things. So when they was talking about the studies, and I had no choice. If I wanted to be with them, I have to talk about the studies. And if I will talk about the studies, I will study it. So that's how it improved me. But I am like a little crazy person, so I always like to make different experiments. I said like, okay, now need to make different experiments. I started to have a company of the people who love to play the sports, who was like an athlete, and they made me athlete. I became athlete with them. So this is the very important thing with everybody has to understand. If you do not want to become like somebody, if you do not want to be like somebody, just leave him. Don't spend time with that person. If you will spend time with that person, either you want or you don't want, you will become like that person. That is how it works. That's why I always say, like suppose you are living in such family where people are not according to you. So, and if you are not enjoying this, you should leave and go out from this. What social norm says, what morality says, whatever says, it's all garbage. You have to first come to a state where you can live a joyful life. Other comes always next. Those who put other first without improving on themselves, they really live a horrible life. So put yourself first, improve your life, and whatever is required to improve your mental state, do that, and then you can uplift yourself, then you can help others, then you can be with anybody. Once your inner state is built, you can be with anybody. But until your internal state is not built, until you are not built up, then it is not possible to grow, it is not possible to help somebody. A beggar cannot make somebody rich. Only a rich person can make somebody rich. So if you want to change your life, you have to change your society, your people around you, your company around you, your friends around you. Having same friend, like sometimes people come to me and they say, I want to quit drinking, I want to quit smoking. I say very simple, first quit the friends who are smoking and drinking, otherwise it won't be possible. Otherwise they will say always you are becoming a divine, holy. What is wrong in one cigarette? They have one cigarette, no problem. And you will have with them. Anyway, if you are not having and they are sitting next to you, they will smoke and this smoke will come to you and you will breathe this smoke, it will go inside you and it will it will manipulate your mind, it will manipulate your thought. So somehow it will affect you. It will affect you deeply and strongly. So if you want to change your life, change surroundings of your life. When you change company of your life. If you want to quit smoking, leave the all friends who are smoking. Meet them sometimes, not every time, not every day, not 24/7. If you want to leave drinking, leave these people who are drinking. Don't spend time much with them. You meet them, hi, hello, that's okay, nothing wrong with that. No need to say goodbye for all. But don't sit with them. As soon as they start to smoke, leave them. As soon as they start to drink, leave them. Say something. Don't say that you quit smoking. Don't say that you quit alcohol. Just leave them. Because otherwise they will try to manipulate you emotionally. They start to say something, and they will hit your ego, because our ego is making us do all the mistakes. So they will hit your ego somehow, and you will feel like, yeah, I am like a man or a woman. I will not do like this. So first thing, your society has to be changed. Your company has to be changed if you want to change your life. While doing meditation, sometimes good smells like tulsi, basil, jasmines are coming from my inside. What does it mean? Nothing means. Don't go into some kind of illusions. It is enjoy this. That's all. I will say it doesn't mean anything, because if I will say something, it means you already start to have some illusions. So don't go into it. If in a meditation state anybody is feeling any kind of smell, it is not some big achievement. It is not some big achievement. It is just a way of meditation. It happens in the way. Many times, we have senses, different body senses. Sometimes some sense becomes active, and when this sense becomes active, you can smell something which is not here. Like these eyes. When your eyes get active, you can see something which is not here in front of you. If your ears become active, you can hear something which is not close by. And same way, if your nose become active, you can smell something which is not nearby. And this happens mostly with the people who start to practice with the breathing or breathing pranayamas or breathing exercises or breathing meditation. When you do breathing, yes, the first thing which becomes active in your body is your nose. So, but don't take it anything, don't understand it like some achievement, don't think that you became something higher, otherwise you will fall into the well. Because half knowledge, half experience always spoils the life. So always need to understand that halfway, half knowledge is not very good. Let's take we took already online questions, let's take some offline also which came before. So, can we do the Surya Namaskar every day? What are the benefits? Surya Namaskar is an exercise which is not ancient one, which has been created recently. So not recently, like 10 years, it has been created in last 200 years. So I will say that don't go for it. If you want to do it as an exercise, just do it as an exercise, aerobics or something like that. It is not something connected with spirituality. It has nothing to do with spirituality. Okay, so benefit is, of course, you will get some health benefit. You can get some kind, when you breathe in. Understand one thing, when people write me like I practice yoga or something, it helps me, it grounds me, but it grounds you only for a certain period of time. It doesn't grounds you for whole day. It doesn't grounds you for whole life. So what is like this, that you have to understand that when you are breathing, when you are inhaling, you are taking lot of oxygen inside and you are throwing out lot of carbon dioxide. So when you are throwing out a lot of carbon dioxide and you are doing deep breathings in any kind of exercises like in Surya Namaskar also, so lot of carbon is thrown out from the body, which naturally relaxes your brain, naturally. Even if without Surya Namaskar, you just do deep breathings, strong deep breathings, the lot of carbon dioxide is gone out, lot of oxygen has come inside you. It will relax you. It will make your life more relaxed, more calm, more joyful. So breathing is good. Surya Namaskar, if you're doing as an exercise, it's good, but it is not a spiritual practice. Okay, thank you. So next question. This is something sexual, so I will take it on another lecture. It's also for another one. This is also for another one. practice alone and understand. It is also for another time. Okay. So now this is the nice one. It's about relationship. Yeah, I was also tired of talking about only yoga for so many days. So namaste. So today is good that somebody asked not about yoga, somebody asked about relationship. It's very good. So the question is, what is the relation between expectation and attachment? Why we get attached? Is there a role of fear in this process? And how to eliminate expectations and live easy life? Aha, very interesting. See, if we are born as a human, our body always demanding something. It's till we are alive, we need something from outside. Without this need, our body cannot survive. We need air 24/7. Then we need water most time in the day. Then we need food. And this need slips down when it goes to the emotions. And this emotion slips down when it goes to the thought process. Your emotion cannot have expectations. Your body cannot have expectations. Expectation can only happen in your mind. It has no connection with your body. It has no connection with your emotions, with your heart. Why are you having expectations? It is very simple. You want to be safe. You want to be secure. You want to not to see something which is not as per your choice. Why we want to have a person to take it, especially where the expectation comes in. Expectation will never be between those people who don't know each other. You do not have expectation from somebody who is walking on the street. You have expectation from somebody whom you know, and especially whom you know good. Not just whom you know. Whom you know good, the expectations are coming, like your family, especially mother, brother, sister, father, all these people. Then your friends, and they can be far or close, doesn't matter. And the third one is like man and a woman one. This is all the expectation kingdom is. If somebody you don't know, you will never have expectation. So one thing is, when you knowing somebody, when you are connected with somebody, it means you are having a connection with this person. There is some flow between you and him. So you do not want this flow to break. That's why you are having some kind of expectation. You want to stay connected. So you feel after some time that this person is a part of your life. And more or less you start to feel that this person is you. You are not thinking that this is another person. More or less you start to think that this person is you. Like when you think about your mother, you don't think that your mother is an independent individual person. You think it's a part of you, and if you will say something, she will do it because she is not separated from you. But you will not say this to any women. You will say what you can say to your mother. So first thing is, you are thinking that another person as you. Expectations are never from somebody where you are not there. You will never expect from somebody when this person is not your part. So first thing, very clear, you need to understand that expectation is not from somebody, it is you in somebody. Like you have a relationship. Let's take man and a woman relationship. A boy meets a girl and they start to live in relationship. When they meet, there is no expectations. When they meet, there is very, very little, like just a kind word, some beautiful words. That's all the expectation is between. Because still they are unknown. Still they are not having like a deep connection. Still they don't think that the another person is a part of that person. When they start to live together, then they start to become like one unit. And when it starts to become one unit, then the woman thinks that this man is my man, so he should behave like this. And man thinks that this woman is my woman, so she should behave like this. You are understanding what you're doing. You are not accepting the person as it is. You are accepting this person as your person, and then you want this person to behave like you want to behave. Not he want to behave. Like you want to behave, you want him to behave like this. So it is not from him. It is from your inner self. And this comes, like she has asked, like, is there any fears regarding this? Yes, of course, fears is there. There is only one fear, strong behind all this, that is of being alone. If you will see in the deep, there are only two major fears in the world. Especially in men, one fear, and in women, two fears. In men, there is one fear which is common in men and women, that is a fear of death. We all have fear from death. That's why sometimes anything which you do new, you always take care about it. Like if you are not knowing to swim, you will not jump into the Ganga in the center of it, because you have these fears. So fear is kind of a mechanism to keep this body safe. So this is there in the man and a woman. Most of our fears are connected to this. Second fear in the women, in men it is not there. That is about the sexuality. That she feels a fear connected to the sexuality. Some kind of, like, she have her space and somebody entering this space without her permission is also a fear of sexuality. Because sex for men is a very different thing. Sex for women is a very different thing. Sex for women is something divine, something cosmic. Sex for men is something like which he can do for relaxing, you do some sport and you feel relaxed. So for men, things like this, men thinks about sex and women feels about sex. So this is another fear. And the next fear which men and a woman has built it on the basis of this relationship, that is a fear of being alone. Most of the people in the world, they have relationship only by this reason. They are continuing their relationship even if it is toxic, just because they don't want to be alone. They have a fear of being alone. But I am sorry, those who are listening me offline, online also, you are alone 24/7. Nobody can be inside you until your permission. You will be alone. Either you live in relationship or you live not in relationship, you will be alone. You cannot be with somebody. You're born alone, living alone, will die alone. You're just meeting people for a particular period of time. If you will see, when you sleep, you're sleeping with your beloved person, like maybe you love somebody very much and you're sleeping with the same person in the same bed. But when you are sleeping, you're sleeping alone. You are inside alone. You're not with that person. Yes, in the between you get some breaks and you wake up, you feel that person. But inside when you sleep alone. When you eat alone. When you cry, mostly you cry also alone. So all these emotions are connected because nobody wants to be alone. But actually fact is, when you are alone and not lonely, there is no problem. Problem starts when you are alone and becomes lonely. Because being alone is a fact. You cannot do it. I have this body and my body limits finish here. No matter what I do, this limit will not increase. Okay, if I eat too much food, I can become little fat, so I can increase little limits. But I cannot change these external limits of my body. So I am alone by physical means always. But body can be alone. Mind can be alone. Emotions can be alone. But fear of being lonely. Lonely means like what? Many people don't understand lonely properly. Lonely means like leftover. You feel that you are no more useful. Nobody needs you. And this is the biggest thing in the world which provokes people. I was in Africa, like most of the people who was doing their social work. So I was not interested in so much of social work. I was just interested in meeting those people who was doing social work. Because I always like to read the psychology of people. I'm interested more in how people are behaving and why they are behaving so. Not what they are doing, what they are not doing. It is good for world and not good for world. It's not my interest. This war is going on, so I am focusing on people's psychology, how they are behaving, how this human trade is working in them. So I went there and I found most of the people who are doing social work over there, they are not happy from themselves. They are not enjoying their life. They feel useless in their life. And that's why they go for social work and feel that at least they are useful for something. If you do not like yourself, then you will be always useless. always useless. For others, forget about others. For you also, you will be useless. And nobody can be never useless. Nobody can be never useless. If you don't like your physical body, was first thing. If you don't like your physical body, change it. No, what is the problem? Change it. You say, I am black, I cannot change my color. Okay, something which you cannot change, then there is another thing. Accept it. If something is there, like if your big stomach become big, you can make it less. If you don't like it, make it less. Change your physical body if it is possible to change. But I am not talking about this, like somebody is injecting some injection here and there. That is their personal choice. I'm not talking about this, but like at least make like you like your body. Like I met a girl in St. Petersburg. I many times tell about her. She said she was beautiful. She was amazingly. Like normally, I did not see any woman who is not beautiful. Every woman is very beautiful. So she said me like, no matter what I do, I don't like myself. I said, I understand this. That is normal. And I will tell you a strange fact. Women is beautiful all around the world. But especially this like previous USSR zone, like this whole previous USSR. This zone, women, most of the women, especially when they are between their teenage to their 40s, they looks like angel from the sky. It doesn't look like the women from the earth. So they are so beautiful. But among that also, they don't believe that they are beautiful. First thing. There, they don't believe that they are beautiful. So she was also saying. I said like, of course it's possible. She said, why? I said, because tell me how much time you see yourself naked in the mirror. She said, hardly when I take shower. And I say, how much time you see the internet? She said, full day. So I say, in internet everybody is there with the good eyebrows, good lips, good figures, so, and it's with the big knees and all. So your mind is seeing 24/7 some images and comparing you with these images. When your mind is comparing you with some images, either you will like it or you don't like it. 90% chances are there you will not like yourself. Because you see, wow, somebody is so perfect. I am not like that. Always you will say, I am not like that. My lips are not like that. My eyebrows are not like that. My eyes are not like that. My cheeks are not like that. Maybe my something is not like that. My something is... So you always start to compare yourself with others. Until you compare yourself with anybody, you cannot be happy in your life, because you will always judge yourself. You will always think like, something is wrong with me. I tell you one simple example from my life. Black color in India, not in the South India, in the North India, is not considered as a good color. You know, like they'll say like they call it kalu. Kalu is like a slang. You know, like. And when I was a kid, my friends, my relatives, these children who was my cousins, they never liked to make picture along with me because I was black and they was more white. My whole family is white, more white, and they think like white, not like you guys white, but like Indian white. And they never make a picture with me. They said, like, you will spoil our picture. So I was like that kind of person. And when I grew up, I struggled with it long time, because like I didn't have this and I had no choice than to work on myself. So I work on my brain, I work on my psychology by myself. Nobody was there to teach. I was born in a very poor family. We hardly had a bread to eat. And we was managing with like 2 pairs of clothes whole year. And that conditions I grew up. But when I grew up, I said like, okay, color I cannot change, eyes I cannot change, eyebrows I cannot change anything in my physical body. And one day I felt like I don't want to change also. So what is the thing? I am wonderful. Let the world go to hell. I really thought like this, let world go to hell. I am wonderful, I am perfect. If somebody has to like I am. And you know, you will be surprised. I was on this day, like when I thought about this, I was in St. Petersburg between Ozerki to Udilne. So in this time I was there, and there was a lady who was sitting right next to me. And she was looking at me and smiling. She was looking at me and smiling. And then as soon as my stop came, suddenly she was also getting down over there. She also got down over there. And she stood next to me and she said something in Russian, like "Vi очень красивые" or something like this. And I heard this sound and I understood like something is about beauty. Yeah? This time I did not knew the Russian language, but I heard like something is about beauty. And then I went home, and there was like my friends, and I asked them that what is the meaning of this phrase. And she said me that this is the meaning of this phrase, that you are very handsome. And I thought, oh, okay, life change. So this is the thing why I'm sharing with you, like I have gone through all this which somebody could be going. And if you want, you can come out from this and start to feel a different state of mind. Many times people think like this belly is big problem, this is problem, this is no, nothing is a problem. Only problem is here. All problem is here. I have seen many times. Sometimes when I eat, I love sweets, so I eat a lot. And sometimes I become big. It's like my weight shifts from 100 kg to 75, 100 to 75. It shifts every year. I one time touch 100 and one time come to 75. It is like every year is happening. So when I become big, especially in the winters, if I am traveling in Europe or Russia, so I'm drinking a lot of milk, eating a lot of chocolates, so I'm becoming big. And I start to see like in mirror, oh, my belly really become big. But suddenly, like some comments come, oh, your belly is so cute. So what I'm trying to share is like everything is beautiful in you when you start to like it. When you start to like it. If you don't like it, you will be the most beautiful man or a woman in the world, but still you will not feel that you are beautiful. Still, nothing will work for you in that way. I met a 14-year girl. She was using all the makeups, like now it started everywhere in the world. They put all the makeups by the 12, 13, 14, even eyebrows and everything. I said like, if you will not make up yourself, you look much more amazingly beautiful. Because like what this makeup do, it makes the skin more fast old. If somebody started at 12, their skin will get old by 24 or 30 by the time they will reach. The skin will be up to 40 skin. But if you start to live little without makeup, I'm not saying like absolutely without makeup. I'm not talking about that. It's a women's right. They have to do the makeups. But I'm not saying like absolutely without makeup, but little without makeup, then your skin breathes. And when your skin breathes, sometimes it was very strange that in night also they have cream to apply on the face, especially in the night. It is a cream for night, it is a sleeping cream, it is a waking up cream, it is a bathing cream, it is. So if you are doing so much of this, do one thing. I give you one tip for beauty tip. Who thinks that they are not beautiful? I'm beautiful, so I don't need it, but if somebody thinks that they are not beautiful, they can use this tip. Use milk. Milk, pure milk you can use. Cow's milk is the best one. Apply on the face before shower, let it get dry, and when you go to the shower, just rub it and clean it. And then you can wash it with a normal shower. Just pure milk, only pure milk. You will see that your face skin or your body skin will remain like a child. I am 50 years old and you touch my skin and your skin. I usually like at least in a week 2 times I'm taking shower either with the milk or with curd. That is for sure. This is there because this is pure nutrition of the body. You drink milk, if your protein is good in your body, your skin always remain healthy. So this is very important to understand. So you make your body healthy, focus on health. Beauty is already there. You take a bunch of a flower and there are different kinds of flower. It looks more beautiful than if you have a same kind of flower. So if whatever type you have, body type you have, whatever skin color you have, however your nose look, I had a friend, like she is still my friend, and we was together for like 2 years. I was like knowing her from 2 years, and after 2 years, one day she said like, when I will have money, I will repair my nose. And I said, what's wrong with your nose? And she said, it is not straight. And then she tried to show me that it is like moving like this. And I said like, come on, in 2 years, I didn't even focus on it. Your personality looks so good, you look so good that I didn't even think about it. I am sorry. Only you are thinking that you are not beautiful. Everyone else in the world is thinking you are beautiful. Okay, so just come out from this trauma. Once you come out from this trauma, then it's possible to work on the second thing. That is, once you accept yourself, you can understand that your happiness is dependent on you, not on somebody. If you are connecting with somebody is for some period of time and you can enjoy and you can share. But inside you should be happy. If your inner happiness is not there, outside there will be nobody who can someday make you happy. It can provide a condition where you can grow your inner happiness. But in that condition also you have to grow your inner happiness. You cannot become happy because somebody is happy next to you. You can smile for some period of time. But what I said just first part of this, like if you want to live a joyful life, make a company of the people who are living a joyful life. Because company always affects. It always gives you a chance to work on yourself. If you want to live a sad life, then meet the people, those who are living a sad life. If you want to become a smoker, then make a company of those people who are smoking all the time. You cannot avoid smoking. I can 100% bet you. You cannot avoid absolutely smoking if you are having a company of a smoking people every day, every time. If you are living with the people who are drinking 24/7 and you are living with these companies, you will start to drink or this effect will start to come on you. So first thing, accept your body. Second thing, find a company of the people who are enjoying their life, who are really happy from inside. If you cannot find, then try to find your inner happiness. Like last time I said, like don't forget to hug yourself. It is very important. We often are saying that hug others. When you hug others, it is very good therapy. But often need to hug yourself also. I always say like when you go to the bathroom, and every bathroom should have at least one full-size mirror. If your bathroom do not have a full-size mirror, you will be a sad person. Why? Because if your bathroom has a full-size mirror, you will definitely like yourself. It's not possible. You are taking shower, doing whatever, you will see yourself naked and you will start to like yourself more. Because when it is natural tendency, why? What is ego? What is ego? Ego is something like which I have, which I think I have more than others. Where I am more superior than others. And this ego is already there in everybody. So how it is possible that it is working about mind, it is working about life, it is working about the things, cars, mobiles, dresses and all this, not working about body? Because we are not seeing this body. We are not giving enough time for ego to see this body. When your ego start to see your own body naked, she start to get this like, yeah, I'm gorgeous, I'm wonderful. And you start to adore yourself. When you start to adore, the first thing will happen, the inner joy will click. You start to smile without reason. You start to be happy without reason. Then this fear of being alone will be taken from you. And after this day, you will be less attached to others. Those who are attached to others, there is only one reason, that they think they have, these others have something which they do not have. If you are attached to some men or some women, there can be only one reason. No, you think that this women have something which you do not have, or this man have something which you do not have, and when he will not be there, you will feel bad. You will not have that thing. So this is the reason of attachment. But once you start to enjoy your being, enjoy the way you are, you stop to get less attached to the people. You enjoy their personality. You are sitting with me, four of you, I am enjoying your company. When you was not sitting with, there was a phone, I was enjoying phone company. When phone is also not there, I am enjoying my own company. So you start to get less attached only when you start to feel yourself more. Expectations are making us slave of the expectations, and expectations will never come true. I'm sorry. If you live this life without expectation, you can really enjoy. Like I am doing anything And I'm always ready to listen no. I have never problem in listening no. And I have never problem in saying no also. Okay? People can listen no, but they cannot say no. I have no problem in saying no also. And I have no problem in listening no also. Because this is the thing which is making us all the time problem and issues around us. Sometimes we afraid to say no. We afraid to lose. No, there is no problem. You can say no. And same time you can say no. Listen also no. And you can say like, okay, I don't need it. This is not me. This is not my part. I don't need this. So once you make clear, it should look clear. I always say people like nowadays, too much drama in social media is happening between man and a woman, all these dramas, all these issues, all these traumas. I say very simple thing. If your no does not look no, men will understand it yes. Okay? Understand very clearly. It is psychological. See all the animals in the world, all the animals. They are not having peacefully sex, They are always having aggressive sex. All the animals in the world. So psychologically, we are coming from there, so we have this understanding. If your no does not look like no, it will be pretended as yes. So if you are saying no to somebody about something, you should literally, physically show this no. Very clearly. If you are not showing this, then you are not allowed to blame somebody after, because it was your mutual understanding for it. It is considered as mutual understanding. Maybe in this law he can be punished, because law is so stupid now in the world. Any woman can go and say anything and they will believe and they will punish. Like in this country, any woman walking on the street can say that Mitraji say me this word and I will be in prison tomorrow. This is the law in this country, and this is there everywhere in the world also. But the real law, where the karma works, will not punish this man, will punish you. Because you did not make your action clear supporting with your words. Your action was not supporting your word. I say, suppose somebody offer me chocolate, and I say, I don't eat chocolate, I don't eat chocolate, I don't eat chocolate, and he's still making me this chocolate box closer to me. I don't eat chocolate, I don't like it. And after saying, oh, so bad, that is what happening. If you read all these traumatic stories, they are same like this. I don't like chocolate, I don't want chocolate, I don't want chocolate, and after I had chocolate, and after chocolate is so bad for health. It is because of him I eat chocolate and now I feel so bad. If you will see all these trauma stories, they are same, no difference. Without I am a man, I can tell you from my point of view, without a woman's permission, forget about touch, you cannot even speak to her. Forget about touch, you cannot even speak to her, you cannot even say hello. And how can somebody come and touch you and do everything and it was not your permission? Huh? It is just an easy way to escape from your own responsibilities. I am talking about the karma here. I am not talking about the constitution or rules of the society. I am talking about the karma. Karma will punish you, not the man. If you make your action clear and he force you, then karma will punish him, not you. But if your actions was not supporting your word, then karma will punish you, not him. Maybe constitution, he will have jail or he will go to prison for something, but the karma, the law of karma will not punish him. The law of karma will punish you. So this is what I am saying, that you have to be very clear in life. Better stay here clear. If you are clear here emotions are very relaxed. You don't get tempted by people. Like if, suppose you believe in something. Many times it happens with me when I travel, people ask, Mitraji, are you vegetarian or are you non-vegetarian? I say that I am a conscious eater. I am a conscious eater. What I need, I will eat. Why I need to be somebody? Why I need to be in some box? So same way, I am a conscious eater, I am a conscious believer, and I am a conscious liver. Means I live life. I live a conscious life. So if you live a conscious life, you will be every day uplifting yourself. Every day you will be better than yesterday. Every day you will be more wiser than yesterday. Every day you will be more joyful than yesterday. There is only one parameter to understand that you are on the right track or not on the right track. If your today is more joyful than your yesterday, you are on the right track. If your today is more sad than the yesterday or past days, then you are on the wrong track. Simple. I understood life very simply. That's why I say the things very practically. If your today is better than yesterday, your tomorrow is going to much better. If your today is same like yesterday, your tomorrow will be the same. If your today is worse than yesterday, your tomorrow is going to be much more worse. It means there is somewhere where you skipped a connection with yourself. Your physical body does not get sick until you not underestimate or oversee its it's what she is saying to you. If she is saying not to eat and you eat, she will get sick. If she is saying like today I want to eat and you say no, today is fast, then also she will get sick. If you are eating something which she do not want to eat, then also she will get sick. So if you are not listening to body, your body will get sick. If you are not listening to your mind will get sick. But here is some little problem, because people say that mind will ask for a lot of things. I said, go for it, but do it consciously. Like suppose I want to eat chocolate. Okay, chocolate I am saying because it's easy, to explain. I want to eat chocolate, and my mind says I want to eat chocolate. I need to take chocolate, and some brain is saying that chocolate is not healthy. There is conflict already. My mind is asking for chocolate. My brain is saying chocolate is not healthy. So what I need to do? Whom to listen? Brain or mind? You have to listen to the mind. If you will listen to the brain, you will get sick. Then you will need a psychiatrist. Without that, you will not be able to. You need to take this, but you have to keep this chocolate in mouth. Don't eat it first. Close your eyes and focus on it. Stay on the taste. Don't think tomorrow or after or good or bad. Just stay with this taste. You will be surprised. Like if it is really not good for your health, you won't be able to take the second piece. You won't be able to take. Really, I am saying my personal experience. I used to eat so much sweet, like I can eat 1 kg of sweet in one moment. You give me one, now also sometimes, 1 kg of the Rajasthani sweet box you give me and I will eat in one time. I will not share with you also. So that much sweet I can eat. But like sometimes, like for 6 months I don't even eat even a sugar. And it's not like I don't want to eat or I want to eat. My body doesn't feel about it. My body doesn't say that I want sweet. And until my body don't feels that I want sweet, I will not eat it. So that's how you have to grow your body. And you have to do the things what your mind says. If you will not do it, again you will get sick. You will get mental diseases. That is what's happening. People became raw vegan, but they are sick. People become vegan, but they are sick. People become fruitarian, but they are sick. People become vegetarian, but still they are sick. Those who are non-vegetarian, they are also sick. So which food is healthy? Every food type people are sick. Then which food is healthy? Food is not healthy. How you eat the food, how you digest the food, how you feel the food is the health reason, where the health is hiding. I always say, like if you take some food in hand and see how you feel about this. Just for 10, 5, 15 seconds, just see how you are feeling. You want to eat it or not? And when you feel like you want to eat it, definitely this will be healthy for you, no matter it is with the poison or not. There was a saint in this country. Her name was Meera, and she was the first woman in this country in last 1,000 years who really came out from the family and really became like a very, very big devotee, and who was singing and dancing on the street without caring about the people and everything. And her husband died, so another man who was like from the family gave poison to her and said it is a prasad. Prasad is like a blessing of God. She took and she drank it, and she did not die. She did not die. She lived 40 years after that. If you like what is given to you and you have taken it, if you are in a good state of mind, nothing is going to harm. You know this cow, if you give poison to the cow, slow poison, I'm not saying like too much poison, like a slow poison like you give normally to the man, cow does not die with poison. Cow never dies with poison. Cow just takes, and there is a nadi in there is a called bladder in her neck, and she stores all the poison over there. So that's why sometimes I always ask people to drink cow's milk, because if you drink cow's milk and she's eating a lot of pesticides and all these chemicals, still her milk will be pure, will not have so much strong of chemicals, because she has this nadi in there. Same way we also have this. But we don't have time to eat, we eat like so fast we are eating. Or somebody is eating so slow that he is dreaming and eating. Consciously we are not eating, we are not enjoying. I always say just take first thing, hold in hand for little time. That's why we started like a mantra. There was in this culture to chant some mantra by holding food in hand, so at least you will get a connection with the food, and then you take it, then it goes inside. So need to connect with the body, to connect with emotions, and then to understand. Emotions should not go with your thoughts. If emotion goes with the thoughts, it will be toxic. It will toxify everything. Emotions are for the actions. When you do something, use emotions. When you think something, don't use emotion. I always say like, I give you one example. Like you have a child, okay? You don't have, like, suppose you have a child and you are having emotion for this child. So physically this child is with you, so you can give him, you can cook nice food for him, you can give massage to him, you can take care of him, you can do whatever you want for him or her. Suppose this child grew up and now this child has gone to another city or another country or another place where physically he's not with you or she's not with you. And now you are having same emotion for the child. That if he was here, I could cook food for him, I could give him massage, I could talk. This all will make you sad. Why? You had same emotions, but now it is, the child is not there. Action is not there. Action is being replaced. Now only thoughts are there. So emotions are connecting with thoughts, making all the problems. Emotions are connecting with actions, no problem. So this is very important if you want to understand about it. And life is possible to live without expectations. A relationship between expectation and attachment, they are just similar, very similar, so don't worry about this. Expectations bring attachment, attachment bring expectations. They are fulfilling each other. Why we get attached? And role of fear, yes, fear of being alone is possible. How to eliminate it, I already explained. And live easy and happy life. If you want to live easy and happy life, it is very simple. Start to not to worry about the future. Live like tomorrow does not exist for you. Then your today will be joyful. Live like your today is the last day. Today is the last day, final day. After that there is what is the difference between emotions and feelings? See, feelings and emotions are little different, very little different. Emotions can be without experience also. But feelings are normally based on your sensible experience, which senses was working in your body, like your 5 senses are there. They are always based on them. So feelings are based on senses, and emotions can be without experience also. So that's how you can understand. Like you can not have chocolate, but you can have emotion about chocolate. But you cannot have feeling about chocolate if you're not having chocolate. Understand? It's very clear. Like if you not have experience, you will not have a feeling about it. But if you have an experience, then you can have feeling. But emotions without experience also can be possible. Like a lot of people having emotion about man and a woman, which they never had in their life. But feelings is not there. Feelings can be very practical. Feelings are very practical. Okay. What is love? Okay. You want to listen what is love? Love is absolute caring about somebody. If you cannot care somebody, it means you don't love that person. I always says that don't say people that I love you, say them that I care about you. Because when you say them I love you, it doesn't give you any responsible, any security, any kind of feeling to that person whom you are saying. But when you say I care about you, it really gives that person a feeling of security, safety, and a home. Caring makes you home. And love makes you just love, no? Every next person says to another person, I love you. What does it matter? Nothing. Nothing changes. Okay, next. One more thing. What is the role of memories here? How not to get stuck in your memories, good or bad? Okay, this is also important. There is all role of memories. Memories is your experience. And experience creating a pattern. You did something in past life, because of this you created a pattern in your present life, and these patterns make you think in a certain way. Suppose you was burnt by fire, something happened and you was burnt, or you was hit, you was going somewhere and you was hit, or you was burnt by fire. When you will go next time from there, you will always have a little fear regarding it. If you was burnt by fire, whenever you will play with fire next time, you will be little more careful. So experience create a pattern, and if somebody has a bad experience, like if a woman has bad relationships, 7 relationships,